During the 6-hour drive across the beautiful state of Oregon, there was a lot to fall in love with. The cliffs, the Columbia River, the haunting beauty of a controlled burn, the forests, this cat, the coast, and the countryside. But for today's video, there's only one part of Oregon that we're interested in. This Oregon. So join me and my two friends as we listen to the manliest of copyrighted music, drive through the country towns of Enterprise and Joseph, past the scenic Wallowa Lake, and head up into the mountains of Wallowa-Whitman National Forest for some good times, and with any luck, good photography. The first day was a warm one, as it was late July and we were still at relatively low elevations. Luckily, water was abundant, and I had my last snack from civilization. We just set up camp. First day we started about 11:30. Got here to the campsite around 3:30. Took like 7 miles. All trails said 5.7, so just watch out for that if you're going to do from the trailhead to there. But yeah, everything's set up. I didn't do much photography on the trail just because we wanted to keep going. Probably won't do much during the middle of the day unless something is pretty interesting, but I'll explain that more if that happens. But most of the photography is probably going to be done around the campsite. But as you can see, it's kind of overcast. The sun is actually right in this overexposed area right behind us. It was sunny pretty much the whole morning during the hike, and then of course it got cloudy after this. Have a beautiful, absolutely beautiful vista around us on the camp tonight. Filling up our water on some snowmelt that's running into there. Water's super cold, but very refreshing. It's beautiful water. So yeah, we'll see what's happened. It's 5:30 right now, so we have a few hours of daylight left. So that tree in the middle of the frame you can see there, the good news is the sun is coming out, and I think I framed up a composition that might work. I just took a few frames anyways. The bad news is the sun is also just on the edge of the ridge, so I'm not sure the sun is going to come out in time for that. But again, the sun is coming out a little bit. These clouds are now leaving, and there's also some beautiful peaks just off frame to the left here. So I'll wait for the sun to come out, which it actually looks like it is a little bit. We got like 10 minutes until it goes over the ridge, so. Well, as you can see, first day of 4 is coming to a close today. The sun set behind the ridge 2 hours ago or something, so didn't have many photographic opportunities really with any lighting. But a beautiful, beautiful little sunset behind me here. There's also, it's hard to tell, but there's also fish splashing in the water as they prepare to have their final snacks of the night. There's one there, but you might have, yeah, you can see that. So very peaceful, very cool. But I will close it out here tonight, ending with this one final sunset. So have a good night, everybody. Well, they do say the early bird catches the worm, and I definitely didn't catch any worms today. So yeah, got a good night's sleep, which was definitely a good thing, with a brand new backpacking pillow that worked out pretty well. Set an alarm for like 5:15, 5:30, but fell asleep again, which I don't normally do, which I guess is a good thing. But I apologize, didn't get any photos of the light hitting the peaks, both behind me and off to the side here. First night was just more of a travel day. For the next 2 or 3 nights, we'll be in the lakes basin of Wallowa-Whitman, and that's where a lot of the alpine stuff, a lot of the mountainous stuff that looks exactly like this is going to be. But definitely more rugged, going over some passes today. But now we're just eating breakfast, and that'll be good.
And that cough from earlier was certainly a foreshadowing event, because I started to feel a little under the weather for what was to be the longest and most grueling day of the trip. Regardless, sit back and enjoy this shortened and beautified synopsis of day number 2. That's not normal to you. Wow. Very good.
Good. It's nice diffused soft lighting in here. I need everything I can to make me look good, because I am exhausted. It was I believe an 11.5 or 11 mile day. I found it really, really hard. I think I'm a little sick too, maybe, but so we got 2 more nights ahead of us, which is pretty crazy. But we are deep in the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest now. So another beautiful camping spot. All of the camping spots will be at lakes, so we'll have fresh water, but we'll also have good access to bugs. I'm getting bit to hell, to put it lightly, and that has not been pleasant, but otherwise it's been very nice. But yeah, camp is set up, and we're at a beautiful lake, so let's see what happens. So we have a few hours of daylight left. It's currently 6:44 actually, so about an hour and a half. But as last night, the sun is going to slowly set over the ridgeline to the east, to the west. I know where the sun sets. I just have the telephoto on this afternoon. I do hope the camera's getting across to some extent how beautiful this location is for camping. Another funny note about where this spot is that there's several marmot holes or whatever this animal is that's what's chirping pretty much, and hopefully stops sometime before we're trying to go to bed, which is going to be shortly after sunset. I'm actually going to switch it to the standard kit lens with a polarizer. Some of the telephoto shots were actually a bit too telephoto. But that brings me to another point that I hinted at yesterday, which is this idea of taking photos still during daylight. It is approaching very close to golden hour. But when the sun is still out, that's when obviously most of the day takes place. If you have a full-time job, that's where a lot of your photography might happen on a Saturday or a Sunday. You can't always get out at sunrise before work or something like that, or on the weekend you're tired, or at night if you have, of course, personal responsibilities in life. The way that I've started to try and approach outdoor photography during broad daylight or non-optimal, non-golden hour times is I've started to consider this idea of calling them painterly. And so what I mean by that is when you look at a painting, either you're walking by someone on the street painting at the beach or in a museum, there's a lot of times where there's a lot of high dynamic range. So the shadows aren't extremely dark. You can still see a lot of detail in them because, of course, a painter can paint as much shadow as they need. And a lot of the time I find that doesn't seem to always be true. They do want to leave some of that detail. The other part is a lot of them are kind of painted. I was going to say shot. A lot of them are kind of painted during the daytime because if you're out at sunrise, you won't have the same subject, let's say, to paint all day. So you'll start at some time. You might start in the morning, set up in the morning, but a lot of the time you'll paint a subject during the day. Again, I'm not a painter, but that seems to be my experience for amateur and sometimes even professional painting. With that in mind, what I want to try and capture of that is very high dynamic range, boost the shadows a lot, lower the highlights, capture a lot of that in the image. So that's what I want to try and get today, is that during the daytime, when a lot of some of these paintings have been created, that's what we should try and that's what I like to try and kind of emulate during the daytime, which again is most of the time if you have a camera in your hand. So with that said, I'm going to do, now again, I have this on with a polarizer, so that should help cut down some of that light and boost some of these beautiful clouds that are billowing behind the mountains. Let's bring myself out so you can see there. Very nice clouds currently. There actually was one other element that I wanted to discuss with regards to that painterly idea, which is, I didn't really practice it today, but I will try here. And it helps with a crop sensor and very small and a very shallow depth of field lens. But that's shallow depth of field. A lot of the time there's not bokeh in paintings. Everything is in focus. So that's another idea to practice and implement in this strategy of mine. I don't know. Let's see.
Leave your ideas in the comments, but I have a hard time describing a more perfect morning than a fresh cup of coffee while taking in the morning light of the mountains.
This is the first time talking to the camera actually during the day, but wow, what a view, what a view. I just came over a little ridge line there and got met with this beautiful lake with little islands in it. The water, if you can't really tell, is a nice kind of emerald blue, clear as day. I don't feel like getting the drone out, but I would, and the battery's almost dead anyways, but just incredible. Very, very nice. That's some good audio. Yeah. Whew. Well, I think for the first time on this journey, I am actually in the lead. Brent behind me, Kevin somewhere down there. There he is. Starting to feel pretty good. Yesterday totally knocked me out, but I'm in higher spirits today. So we are going over a mountain pass. We also went over a mountain pass yesterday, which is what killed me. And yeah, feeling good today. So we'll be camping. We have a few options for a few lakes at the lakes basin. There were some beautiful campsites last night, but they were already taken when we got there. So should be some good options for us tonight. But whew, let's keep going. These switchbacks, they are easier, but mentally challenging for sure. No longer need the sun hood up or the hat because some clouds have been rolling in for a while. Still some pockets of sun here and there, but definitely cooled off a little bit, and might be a chilly night tonight, so we'll see about that. We were just at Mirror Lake, took a little detour, had some lunch, very beautiful spot. So there's a good pocket of 4 or 5 lakes in the lake basin to choose from. We should be able to find one campsite there, and everything will be good. So let's keep rolling.
And squeeze we did as we made camp for the third night, just a few short steps from the water in the most forested campsite of the trip so far. While Brent and Kevin relocated their tent to avoid some fire ants, I took the moment to investigate photographic opportunities along the perimeter of the lake.
And welcome to what might be actually our last campsite of this trip. We will see. There's some scheduling stuff. We're actually going to go to the Pacific coast after this, so there was some timing with going to the last campsite and making it to all the way across the state before like 7 p.m. So we'd have to wake up at 2 a.m. to do the hike that we needed to do. But we are at Lee Lake in the Lakes Basin. This is the one we went with. And this is the second to last lake before descending back into the Wallowa Valley. So it is very forested, as you can tell, but we still have some beautiful views around us. But just checking out some different areas while camp is finished setting up. It's about almost 7, so it's still going to be dinner time. Every day has been pretty long and tiresome, but I'm fitting in what I can here. I'm also holding the camera because it'll fall otherwise on this branch. But I see an angle right here, actually. I'm just trying to get some conifer shots. Can't go wrong with that in the Pacific Northwest, So we have fully exited the lake's basin, and now we are descending into the valley floor, coming in from the other way than which we entered at Polaris Pass 2 days ago, which is pretty incredible. The last few days have somewhat reminded me of New England, semi-rocky, kind of got to watch your footing as we descend. My guess is we'll probably head out. But that's all right. It's been a wonderful trip still, but it's not done yet. So let's keep going.
And after a morning of descending into the valley, several stream crossings, and stopping right at the spot where we would have otherwise made a left, we continued straight and back to our car and civilization, where we befriended a cat in Hood River.
Hi. Oh, hi.
And made our way again across the state to the Oregon coast and Haystack Rock. And here, I'll end the video with Kevin asking one of life's deepest questions. Thank you so much for watching.